Straight. I'm Chris Graham. I'm joined by Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express, legendary tag team wrestler, singles wrestler. Great career. He's going to be at the AWE Awesome Night of Legends on October 15th. Ricky, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it very much.
So we have to ask, first question, it has to be about the heat, the feud, the back and forth between you and Marvin Moore, Doug Gibson here in AWE. We all know what happened, I guess. People have been following the story. Question we have, number one question, is why?
Okay, that's why, but I'm going to go into a thing right now that I agreed to do this interview with you guys. Because, you know, I wrestle independent wrestling, and I do this 5 or 6 nights a week. And you got to understand, too, that I'm asked this question over and over and over again. I agreed to do this. This is the only time I'm going to do it. It's not being mad at anybody or being such a butthole to somebody. It's that when you get asked this question so many times that people want to interview you, I come here today and I do this one interview for you, these segments, and we get it done and it's over and done with. And if you want to see it, if you want the answers, you can go to AwesomeWrestlingEntertainment.com or whatever and find it out, okay? But what I started out with is, you know, when I first started the business, you got to understand it was a long road to hoe. I'm a country boy, so I'll put it the way I put it. And then I got in this business, and what I try to do in this business is to help people, to try to get them started in this business, but try to teach them the right way. You know, try to make them understand and make good decisions and bad decisions. But along with this, I'm going to go back, way back in the Doug Gibson days. Marvin Ward was a guy that was a wrestler, and I watched him, and you got to understand, I could see it in his eyes and his heart that he wanted this business so bad. And when I see that in somebody, I try to help them. I try to give them that next step to go to that next level. And you see, and Marvin Moore don't even understand what I had to go through to get him that match or get him where he was going to be. And he didn't even appreciate it. You understand me? He didn't appreciate it because then he comes back on this segment on TV and say that the Rock and Roll Express was overrated. Now, he don't know nothing about before Smoky Mountain Wrestling. What all we done for this business? You got to understand it was our matches every night. The blood, the sweat, the traveling, the things we had to do to make a living, because I never had nobody to give me a break. Now, I'm going to tell you, my daddy was a professional wrestler, but what I got in this business, I got it on my own. You know, they even told me that, Ricky Morton, you'll never make it in this business because I was too little. But I proved them wrong, and I've done it on my own. And then to have Marvin Moore to come out and say that we're overrated and disrespect me in a way that just got my craw. And then when I seen him, it was that little smirk on his face. And I'm going to come out and tell you, you know, people ask me, what happened, what did you do? It wasn't a part about what I did, it was a part that I slapped him. And understand me, the people that know Ricky Morton, you got to understand, Marvin, you ought to be glad I slapped you with my left hand instead of my right. So
you have the confrontation. You drive out of your way to go meet with Marvin and bring this issue up to him. I mean, tell me about, you know, this obviously was personal to you.
Yes, it was personal to me. Yes, I drove out of my way. I wanted to make a statement. I wanted to make a point to prove to him that he's here, you know, and everybody's seen him all over the world say something about the Rock and Roll Express. Well, you know, it's easy to say things, but first of all, you're not going to disrespect me like that at any point, any way, because I gave you something that nobody else would. And for you to do something like that to me, Marvin, you have already slapped me in the face.
So how's this going to translate now? Obviously, this evolved from that, where it was something said in an interview and then a confrontation, and now it's become a match. And maybe wrestling's been missing this in recent years, but we actually have a couple combatants here who really don't like each other. I mean, how is this going to translate in the ring?
Well, understand it. How's it going to translate in the ring? Well, you see, this business is all I got. I don't have nothing else. It's all I know. I was brought up in this business. It's the way I feed my family and what I got to do. And what I got to do to feed my family, I'm going to do this. Now it goes on to the part, and I'm going to tell you right now, right up front, it goes to the thing where, Ricky, what about you and Kevin Nash and Marvin Ward? What's going to happen? And I'm honest, and I promise to all the people out there, I haven't talked to Kevin Nash since the WCW days, so that's since they released me then, and that's got to be, 15 to 16 years ago? And that's a promise, I haven't. I don't know. Now, as to Marvin Ward, which he has got Kevin Nash, now see, that's up to Marvin. I got a little advice from Marvin because, this is a whole different situation. The outcome of the match, well, see, you're asking me a question, buddy, I can't answer. And that's truthfully from my heart. I don't know. I just know that on October the 15th, I got to step in a ring with a man that is 7 foot tall, that weighs 300 pounds, that is a monster, that if he does get his hands on me, he can rip me apart like a rag doll. But on the other hand, he's got to understand too that he's got a partner with him, Marvin Ward. Does he really know Marvin? Does he know what Marvin's capable of doing in which situation like this occurs? Does Marvin understand that, and back in our days, buddy, we used to have riots. Has Marvin ever been in a situation where you had to fight 30 people? Has Marvin ever been hit so hard the mouth that when you get that dizzy sensation out of your thing and your tongue and that warm feeling going, and you reach up and about 4 of your teeth are gone and you're already swallowing them and you didn't even know it? I'm talking true facts here. Well, is Marvin still going to be there? Does Kevin Nash understand that? And Kevin Nash can say what he wants to about us that, and like I heard Marvin Ward make a statement, well, this and that, when it comes down, Kevin, I just beat the crap out of him. Kevin knows the Rock and Roll Express. He knows what we could do. I mean, I just didn't come in here and fall off the back of an onion truck. I know how to take care of Ricky Morton. And it's one thing that Marvin Ward has got to understand, and Kevin Nash, because Kevin don't work the independent circuit. He's in his corporate businesses where he signed himself to a contract to make more money, I guess, in a half a year than I did in my whole career in this wrestling business. He's worried about what restaurant he's going to eat at tonight, and I'm worried about paying an electric bill. You see, so this is a situation that I got to do, because another thing is I got to man up to what I said. And I'm going to give that to him. I am going to man up. But see, it's one thing guys don't know, and I'm going to let the secret out of the bag. I'm going to let you guys understand what independent wrestling is really about. 80% of the time when I go to a show, it's like going on a blind date. You never know what you're going to get. And when I get there, people ask me, how come you're always at the building early? And I'm going to tell you why I'm at the buildings early. And all you guys understand this, and the people that really know me know why. Because I familiarize myself with all my surroundings. When I come into a building before that match even starts, I know what exits are, what doors are, where I'm sitting at in the dressing room, where I can go. Because you never know what's going to happen, that somebody going to try to make yourself a great reputation over me. Well, see, I prepare myself for the unexpected. I always do. That's something I never told nobody before, and it's not to intend to hurt anybody or that. But when I wrestle, I have 2 straight razors in each one of my boots. You never know that, guys. None of y'all do. It's not because of that, because I am going to take care of myself. You see, because I'm on my own out there in Independence. I have nobody else out there with me. This is what all this is boiled down to. So either take it or don't take it. That's all I got to give you.